Test, test, test. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Let me know how we sounding. So last night, price did a lot of retracing. We got a lot of retracing going on right now. And we're still retracing right now. We just took this gold setup. We hit TP1 and then it rejected, but literally everything is retracing right now. Like everything's retracing heavy. Like GJ, we got a downtrend coming into play right now on GJ. GU, we caught a nice buy on GU yesterday, but again, as you can see, all last night, and then the GBP news is causing GU to literally reverse. Gold ended up reversing a little bit as well. Again, we hit TP1 on this. The price is really struggling to reach those all-time highs. I'm looking to see that happen this week. We still obviously have tomorrow and Friday and today. Obviously, we don't have any news today, but we do have a lot of news tomorrow. So tomorrow and Friday is definitely going to be interesting. US30, same thing, right? We took buys on US30. We took buys last week on US30. And then last night during the New York session, price just kind of retraced. So we have a lot of retracements and reversals taking place right now. We might have just got whipped out of this. No, we almost got whipped out of this. So we're going to hold this to SLTP like always, but it looks like it might be a retracement day today. That could change going into New York, but like as of right now, as we see, everything is just retracing heavy. I'm not really going for sales on anything just yet. We still got a little bit of work to do before I go for sales on anything. But yeah, so we might just have to sit back and relax. Again, last thing you want to do is force trades, especially if they're not clean setups, especially when you're up for the week and up for the month. Again, we're at the 3-0 this week so far. I mean, 4-0 to technically count the gold setup, but it hit TP1 quick and is rejecting, so I'm not even going to count that. But the point is, you want to take, again, advantage of the winners and minimize the losses. So if the markets are showing that we got some shitty shit going on, the last thing you want to do is just try to force setups or trade just for the sake of trading. So depending on what price does during this session, of course, going into the New York session, it might be a chill day today. We'll see. Like I said, we're in this gold setup. We just got we was in this gold setup. We just got whipped out of that. So I don't really like anything else. I don't like anything else in the charts right now. So we're gonna be watching the charts to see what happens. But just give me y'all a heads up. Today might not be action packed like yesterday's live stream. So we just looked at a goal. We hit TP1 and then it rejected. And again, everything else is retracing or reversing. So yeah, we're just gonna let the markets do their thing. We're gonna pay attention to see how GJ reacts, because GJ is in a little bit of the reversal territory as well. Depending on how price plays out today, we're either gonna see the downtrend come into play, or we're gonna see the uptrend come back into play. Just shot the new video for y'all yesterday though. Make sure to check that out after this live stream is over. So yeah, we're either looking for sales, we break below 206.70, hold that as resistance, or we're gonna be looking for buys if we can break back above 207.60 and hold that as support. All right, but again, everything is just retracing right now, so it is what it is. Yeah, we literally just got whipped out of that. It's all good though. If y'all was in yesterday's live stream though, we literally took this US30 setup live. We also took this GU setup live. Both of them played out. GU played out not only during the 4:30 news, but also played out during the 8:30 news. And then US30 obviously and gold was pushing during the 8:30 news yesterday as well. Went live with the members yesterday. So members, if y'all was not in the live stream yesterday, make sure to watch the recording because we went live during the news. I'm also going to edit and post a trade breakdown and video of the US30 setup. I might do one for the GU setup as well. But again, we had 4:30 GP news yesterday. If y'all was in the live stream yesterday, we took the GU setup. And as you can see, it was in profit. And then when the 4:30 popped off, again, look at our price right before 4:30 to 4:15 counts. We did a nice break, did a nice retest. And then the 4:30 news, again, did the 4:30 news fuck us up or do anything scary? And then we continue to go with the flow of price. And then 8:30 news, saying, let's get this off the screen. It's just for one way on TikTok. And shout out to those that was on the TikTok live yesterday as well. Right. And then the same thing happened with US30. We took a buy before news. Nothing happened. Then the 8:30 news before it rejected. Right. Like we're going to the 5-minute time frame, like before it rejected. You can see right here, this was the 830, the first 5 minutes, it pushed up, hit the final TP, and then rejected, right? So again, when you understand how the markets work, all the volume manipulation you can use to your advantage. Again, we got a lot of retraces going on right now. So depending on what happens between now and New York session, we might just be sitting back and relaxing for the day. Because y'all know I don't counter trend trade. So we literally hit TP1, then we just got wicked out, and now we're right back in our entry point. So we're going to be looking for maybe a possible entry, because the only chart I really like as of right now is gold for buys. But again, as we can see for the past few days, gold's been struggling not only to make that clean higher high, but maintain 43.26 as support. So we're going to need that to be held as support for the uptrend to continue. But we're going to see what this next 15 looks like. So we did just get wicked out of this. We hit TP1, then we got wicked out. So we're going to see what price does 15 in the next hour. You already know the drill. Y'all make sure y'all like the lives. Y'all hop up in here, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We just hit 4,300 subscribers right around the corner for 4,400. We can get to that easily this week. Got some new videos lined up for y'all today as well on Instagram and TikTok. So make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I see that scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram, playmaker_weight, TikTok, _playmaker_weight_. Let me fix the mic, because y'all can hear me, but I sound a little muffled. But it also because of the live stream, maybe sounding different. All right, let me see if this sounds a little bit better. All right, new 15 just popped up. So again, this is why risk management is important. So let's go look at the trades we took this week, right? So Monday we caught a 1-to-1. So let's pull out the handy dandy calculator, right? So Monday we caught a 1-to-1. So again, just basic numbers, basic example. Let's say we're risking $100 per trade. So if we caught a 1-to-1, that means we risked $100. We made what? $100, right? So Monday we caught a nice 1-to-1. Boom, right? We took this US30 set. I think we might have took this live as well. Let me see. Yeah, we took this live on Monday. Caught a nice 1-to-1 on that. And then yesterday we took a US30 buy and a GBPUSD buy. US30 we caught a 1-to-3. GBPUSD we caught a 1-to-5, right? So we look at the GU setup. We caught a nice 1-to-5. US30. US30. This is US30. We caught a nice 1-to-3. So we pull the calculator back out. 3. Right. So then we just got wicked out on this gold setup. So this gold setup we took a loss. So again, this is why risk management is so important. One, we're still up for the week because we won 3 trades, lost 1 trade. But again, this is why it's important to consistently risk the same amount and consistently go for bigger RRs, because again, if your winners are always bigger than your losers and you're risking the same amount every single trade. I sound fucked up. Hold on. Let me fix my mic. If I do sound fucked up, y'all let me know, because every time I be having my earphones in listening to it, because y'all, let me try to fix my shit. I also got like fucking scream on my mic because I got a low ass voice. So I don't be properly. Test, test, test. You know how we sound in test, test, test. I should trip. Let me fix my mic, y'all, because it don't help if I'm talking. Y'all can't understand me. Let me fix my mic really quick. But again, everything's just retracing, so we're just gonna let price do its thing. All right, let me see if this sounds better. All right, we sound better. So long story short, even though y'all couldn't really fully hear me, y'all saw what we was doing, was just breaking down the trades we took this week. So again, this is why it's important to constantly risk the same amount every single trade, but also go for higher RR. Because again, if your winners are bigger than your losers, your wins will always cancel out that one loss. Or if you do take a loss, all it takes is one win to cancel out 2 to 3 losses. Right. So we're gonna see if gold can push back above, because again, I'm bullish still. But like we talked about, a lot of these charts are kind of retracing. A lot of charts are struggling. Also, this is the last full week of trading for the year. Right after this week, we just strictly have Monday and Tuesday next week to find setups. And then after Monday and Tuesday, obviously we got all these holidays and shit. And then after that, the week after that, we have Monday and Tuesday, and then again, it's a bunch of fucking holidays, right? So this is the last full week of trading for the year. But yeah, that's just what's going on. I don't know why I be sounding so fucked. It's like as soon as I start talking fast, it's like the audio just fucks up. But we thugging it out. Y'all know how it is. It's just the streaming. When I stream, this shit be getting fucked up. But yeah, so we're gonna be looking for a round two here if we can hold a support. I'm not against going for a round two here because again, this is the only setup I like as of right now, unless things change up between now and New York session. Probably not going to be trading today because again, I don't counter trend trade. So if we're retracing or reversing, just gotta let the charts do what the charts are going to do. Let me look at NQ just out of curiosity. But I looked at last 100 last night and I didn't like what I saw there either. But let's just double check really quick because nothing else to do. So yeah, NAS100 is not it either. So we're not trading that. US30 back on the screen. We're not trading NAS100. My shit's tripping out. I apologize, y'all. If y'all was in the TikTok live, y'all know my Wi-Fi was tripping yesterday. That shit kind of tripping right now. I can see it lagging out on my other screen. I'm trying to fix this up. This sounds crazy. What's going on, Swarthy? I see you over here. Shit, nothing much, man. Nothing much. We just took an L. But we're 3-1, so we're still up for the league. We just took an L on gold. Yeah, so right now I'm just trying to fix my audio so we can sound good. But like I was just telling everybody, it might just be a chill day today. It's going to be live on TikTok later on today during the New York session. So make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram, playmaker_wait, TikTok _playmaker_wait_. Yeah, my shit fucked right now. I might have to restart the live. So I'm trying to fix that shit. But if I got to, we got to. It don't help if I'm talking. Y'all can't really fully hear my ass. Make sure to hit that first link in the description, y'all, and join the free student free Telegram. Y'all see on your screens how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. All right, but as far as how we're doing so far this month and this week, we're 3-1 this week. We went 2-0 yesterday. We went 1-0 on Monday, and then we just took a loss right here. I mean, we technically didn't take a loss, but it literally hit TP1 and immediately rejected. So I doubt anybody trailed their stop loss that quick. So we're going to count that as a loss, right? As far as how we did last week, we went 5-3 last week, and then the week before that, we went 8-0. Then the week before that we went 7-0. So we've been killing it so far this year. As far as how we're doing so far this quarter 4, November we went 27-3, giving us a 90% win rate, and then October we went 30 wins, 4 losses, giving us an 88% win rate. And as far as how we did quarter 3, if you scroll to October 3rd, right here, you can see how we ended quarter 3, July 17-2, August 23-2, then September 16-3, ended quarter 56-7, gives 89% win rate. So while I be telling y'all on Instagram and TikTok, we had an 89% win rate quarter 3, a 90% win rate quarter 1 and quarter 2. Like everything else, there is no cap in my rap. But yeah, so we've been killing it so far this year. I'm saying so far, like this is in the last couple weeks of the year, but y'all get what I mean. And the mic sounds good. Knock on wood. I think I fixed it, y'all, because we sounding crispy right now. So again, we're gonna be looking for a possible re-entry on this gold setup because everything else I absolutely do not like. Everything else is just retracing. GJ is the only other chart I'm gonna consider looking for setups on, but we still got price in reversal territory, so we're just going to wait. So again, with GJ, we're either going to wait for price to break above and maintain 2760 as support, then for buys come back up to 2795. The news yesterday also could not break this level because again, during the 8:30 news, price did spike up, going with the flow of price, but it really struggled to break up this resistance level, right? So we're going to need to maintain 207.95, 208 as support for the uptrend to continue. That fails to happen. If we break below, maintain 206.70 as resistance, we're going to be looking for sales going down to 206.40. All right, US30 in yesterday's live stream, we caught a nice buy up on that, but when my screen pops up, that's how I know my Wi-Fi bugging out right now. But yeah, so after we caught that buy during London session, New York session price reversed, and he's been taking a nap all last night. So yeah, the only chart we really can look for possible setups for right now is gold and possible GJ later on today. Everything else, GU got a nice buy. That thing fucking reversed. I look on the daily time frame. This shit went timber. Look at that thing. That shit completely reversed. Yeah, so again, it's just a little bit of a patience game, but this is how the markets are. Sometimes you don't take setups because there is no setup, right? Sometimes you have no trade day, especially like when it's slow and shit like that. Damn, I can't even skip this app. They're like, nah, you're gonna have to watch this shit. There we go. We're still gonna be on though. New 5 minute just popped up. We got another 15 about to pop up in about 4 minutes. Like always, y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. When we look at these charts, drop in the chat. Appreciate those that like the live. Make sure to like and subscribe, y'all. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out after the live stream is over. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I see it's at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram playmaker_wait, TikTok _playmaker_wait _. And also, if y'all was live yesterday, gold ended up playing out as well. As you can see, this is what priced at 7 a.m. This is obviously what price was doing in London session. And you can see off the 8:15 and the 8:30 candlestick again. Did the news do anything crazy or scary? No, it continued to go with the flow of price because again, the flow of price and market structure is king and queen. Yeah, so we're just gonna be chilling, y'all. Let's see if gold can hold this right here. We got a new 15 about to pop up in a little bit. So again, if gold can maintain 43.16 as support, we're gonna be looking for buys going to 43.26. I'll pull up GC2, especially because the markets are slow. I might as well pull up my GC chart. My GC chart and US30 is pushing as well. So we could see possible buy. Like I said, US30 reversed, right? So again, A plus setup would be if we can maintain 43.320 as 48.320 as support. I do have an alert here just to let me know a heads up ahead of time if price might be approaching that, but I'm not really wanting to look for buys unless we can break back above this level personally. So we're gonna look at gold here. And then like I said, GU went fucking timber, so we're gonna get rid of GU. I might have to update my GC levels, but let me see. Let me see. So for the future traders GC, we're either gonna look for price to retest 43.30, or if we can break above 1943 support, we look for buys going to 43.72. All right, new 15 just popped in. Let's see if we can hold this level here. Again, y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. When looking at your charts, drop in the chat. Looking to see if we can hold this right here. All right. Might going around two on this. We'll see. Do like how this is looking though. Again, we're going to be looking to see if we can hold 43.16 as support. If so, we can look for buys going to 43.26. We took this trade at the London session open, hit TP1, then immediately wicked us out on the same candlestick. So we're going to look to see if we can hold this level again and go for around 2 on this. Goals pushing up. Are you in the trader waiting for some more confirmation? So I did re-enter this. My confirmations are always retest. So I did re-enter this setup. That's why I was telling y'all. So again, you can see here for multiple 5 minutes, we held this low as support. So I did re-enter. So I am in profit on this. So now we're going to look to see if we can break through this level of traffic right here. So again, that's literally all my. So if you didn't watch my trade breakdowns, make sure to watch my trade breakdowns. I just dropped one yesterday, but again, it's very simple how I do it, right? So like even like with this GU setup, like we can talk about GU. I forgot I got rid of GU. Let me put GU back up, right? So let's just talk about the GU setup we took yesterday and the GU setup we took on Monday. So let's pull that up, right? So we go into the Wednesday signal room. All right, it's very simple. Now the retest can play out differently, so it just you just have to be on the charts to experience how the markets work, right? Because in the beginning, the markets might seem like they're doing different things, but once you watch the charts and pay attention enough, you realize that they do the same shit, just different ways. But those different ways they do all the fucking time, right? So if we go back to Monday, all right, we took this US30 setup, but you see right here, I sent the screenshot, right? So I let them know at 409 how GU broke the zone, and then we look at the screenshot here. I'm showing if we can hold the low. So that's literally what we're looking for. If price can hold it and bounce off, right? Because what you want to do, I talked about this in this video. So if y'all didn't check out this video, make sure to check out this video right here. Give me one second.
Etsy holiday ad, but you
As
won't
soon
hear
as I said this
Elmo's
video,
bells
damn
or
ad want to
classic
pop
carols.
up. Hold on one
Instead,
second.
you'll hear something original.
Hold on one second. So make sure to watch these two videos right here. Give me one second. Watch this one. And then watch this one right here. All right, so this goes over support resistance. There we go. All right, cool. All right, so you see in the screenshot how it's like, look, we're going to see we're going to break and hold this low SOR, just like when I do the Sunday chart analysis, or even during these live streams. That's why I do the arrow so y'all can visually see what I'm verbally saying. You get what I'm saying? So this is what we was looking for in the GU screenshot, right? So then, as you can see, GU broke the level, and then we go to the GU setup. Look right here, right? So we go to the GU setup. You see how it broke. Then it did the retest, and then did the push to the upside, right? And the same thing with this setup, right? We waited for the break and retest, right? So you can't see it on the 15, but you'll be able to see it on the 5 minute. Right, this is why I don't breakout trade, because a lot of times when people talk about fake liquidity grabs, it's either because of one or two things: you're identifying the trend on a too small a time frame, or you're breakout trading. Right. So again, price didn't just decide to do the move I was looking for when I entered here versus it didn't want to do it here. Is because again, what I tell the members and students is it's important where the candlestick goes, but it's more important where the candlestick close. Right. So just because price broke a level doesn't mean it's going to hold that level. That's why I always say breaking and retest. And I say, like in the Sunday chart analysis, or even in these London session lives, that's why I say if we can hold as support or hold as resistance. I don't just say if we can touch this level or if we come to this price. I literally say that for that exact reason, right? So you can see right here how price broke this level and held it from resistance to support. And that's when we enter the buy setup, right? Because we go into the signal room, going to this GBPUSD setup, we enter this off the 302, 3 a.m. candlestick, right? So you can see here, how this was the 250 candlestick. This was the 255. So price did the retest of the 255 candlestick. And then once London session open popped up, we saw price was pushing up and holding as support. And that's when we went for the buy, right? Same thing here. Price rejected that level. Let me zoom in so y'all can see this a little bit better, right? Just like right here. Look at how price rejected this level. But then when it did the break and retest, it held that level from resistance to support, right? Same thing right here. If you would have went for a buy here, oh, here's the fake out liquidity grab, right? No, it's not. That's not what's happening, right? It's because you didn't wait for price to hold the level versus here, price broke, retested, then pushed to the upside. You see what I mean? Same thing here, right? It's not, oh, fake out liquidity grab. It's because price wasn't holding that level as support. But even when price holds that level of support, retracement and reversals can happen. But as you can see, if you wait for a break and retest more times than not, especially when you go with the flow of price, you can avoid those fake out liquidity grabs and stuff like that. So that's why I always say we're going to wait for the retest. And that's why you hear me say during these live streams and stuff like, okay, let's see how this next 5 minute pops up, this next 15 minute. You know, I say that because I'm waiting literally for the candlestick to close and to see if it can hold that level. You see what I mean? Same thing right here, right? We entered off a 5 minute retest, but even off the 15, after it broke, it retested, held that support, then pushed to the upside. You see what I mean? But yeah, that's just how that works, right? So you always want to wait for the break and retest, enter buys off support, sells off resistance. But again, like I talked about, I just got wicked out again. So now I'm not in this trade no more. I just got wicked out again. But yeah, so markets right now are just struggling to continue with the flow of price. And we also have a lot of charts reversing right now. So a lot of charts did reversals last week, and a lot of charts did reversals yesterday and last night. Like we look at US30, you see how price just reversed. We look at GU, we caught that big ass buy yesterday, right? We caught this entire move for the day. We caught the entire higher high yesterday just for price to reverse today, right? So we have a lot of reversals and retracements taking place. We do got news tomorrow, but again, so like in this situation, I'm just going to be chilling until New York session, right? Because at this point, it's showing that we could see a setup between now and 6 a.m. But I have rules like I'm not going to take all my trades for the day in one session, especially if prices like showing low volume retracing and shit like that. So I might just wait until New York session, see what 8 a.m., 9:30 open looks like, and then look for a setup there. But again, a lot of these charts are kind of retracing and reversing. So if I don't see anything I like, I'm just not going to trade anymore today because again, the last thing you want to do is try to end every day super green, especially if it's the market conditions, right? That's why it's important to understand how to read the charts. And a lot of times people skip the steps and go straight to a strategy and a broker. So they think TP hit means right and sell hit means wrong. And then especially if you're trying to end every day green, but sometimes you got to just get off the charts because of the market conditions for the day, right? Sometimes it's not the strategy being wrong or you even trading incorrectly. It's just the market conditions. Because again, no strategy is 100%. Yes, we had a 100% win rate month like once or twice this year. Yes, we was on the 2 week win streak at the beginning of this month. The losses are part of the game, right? When you look at how we do on a monthly and quarterly basis, we're losing at least 2 to 4 trades a month, which is still not terrible. But again, the losses we took wasn't because we broke our rules. It wasn't because we traded differently. It was because of the market conditions, whether that's a lack of volume or reversals. You see what I mean? So that's one thing that's important, especially like when prices ranging like this is what causes a lot of people to get wicked out and take like 5 losses because they're like price is ranging. I know this trade is valid, but until there's volume, that's what price does. That's also why we trade at the time we trade, right? I trade the first few hours of London, the first few hours of Tokyo, the first few hours of New York, because not to say there won't be any plays or moves that can play out in between the sessions, in the middle of the sessions, or switching from one session to the next. But for price to move and break levels, we need volume, right? So let's just show a perfect example with this GU setup, right? So this was a couple weeks ago, or this was last week. I think this was last week. Yeah, this was last week. So let's go to last week really quick. So boom, right? So we go to this trade right here. This was Monday, December 8th. So we go to Monday, December 8th, you're going to see that we took this buy setup right here. So you can see we took the buy setup. So we're going to go to Monday, December 8th. Just go on, take a trip down memory lane. All right, so we're going to go to December 8th. All right, here we are. Okay, cool. So we took this buy sub December 8th, right? So you see we took a NAS buy and then we took a GU buy, right? So I think we made our money back on the NAS buy, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was just a bad day in general. I think that was one of the days we just got fucked up. But you can see here how we took this buy on GU. Again, entry 3330 SL, 3315. You see the TPs, right? So you see December 8th. Was we wrong to go for buys? No, it was not, because we were catching big boy moves all this month and all the week prior, right? We literally caught this big ass move the week prior, right? And it was catching buys, big boy move, big boy move, big boy move, big boy move. And we see price turning resistance over to support. So we wasn't wrong to go for buys here. It was just simply a lack of volume. So what would have happened this day if I kept on trying to re-enter the trade, re-enter the trade, re-enter the trade? I would have fucked up my account, not because my strategy wasn't working, not because the trade I did wasn't valid, but because of the market conditions, right? Because literally the next day, this happened on live, because literally the next day, right, Tuesday the 9th, London session, it then did the exact move we was looking for. You see what I mean? So again, that's why I said when you follow my rules, if your stop loss gets hit, it's never because you're wrong. I know that sounds crazy to the average person, but hey, we're not the average trader, right? So when you follow these rules, your stop loss gets hit, it's never because you're wrong. It's either because of A, lack of volume, or B, you caught in the reversal, right? That's why our win rate is so high, because we go with the flow of price. We also don't do super tight stop losses. So again, if we're ever super deep in drawdown, it's either because of lack of volume, or again, we got common reversal. You see, that's why this trade, you know what I'm saying, we didn't go below this level, right? Same thing with US30. We did a retest, but after the retest, guess what? It held that level of support and pushed to the upside, right? So again, that's why when we take these trades, unless it's the very beginning of the trade, we're rarely in the red. Now, we might be in drawdown because of your entry, but as far as chart wise and SL and TP wise, again, look at this trade. Barely was in the red, right? Because again, we wait for the break and retest, we're going with the floor price, and we're trading under volume. You see what I mean? And look at gold pushing. So again, that's just the market condition, right? So price is going to range like this till the volume picks up. You see what I mean? That's just the point of view, just like right here, right? How many of y'all think went for sales on gold yesterday? How many portfolios went for sales on gold yesterday? They got fucked up, right? Because again, there was low volume. But when the volume picked up, which way did it go? It went to the upside. Now, why is that? Because we're in an uptrend, right? Even after this retracement with the low volume, guess what? Turned this resistance level into support, and then broke this resistance level, right? Because again, we're in an uptrend, right? So again, when the volume picks up, it's most likely going to go up. It's like if we're in a downtrend, when the volume picks up, it's most likely going to go down. You see what I mean? So yeah, that's just the market conditions right now. Again, we just see a lot of choppiness. Nothing we can do about that. We just have to wait for the volume to pick up. Because again, if you have two options: you either trade in shitty market conditions or stay out of shitty market conditions. Because again, trading is a long-term game. Yes, you got to take it on a day-by-day basis, but you need to be having a weekly, monthly, quarterly goal, right? So that's why I say you got to look at the big picture, right? Believe it or not, last week was our worst trading week, or second worst trading week of the year, but we still ended last week in profit and up. But why was our worst trading week? Because the markets were shitty. We took 3 losses last week, but that's what we took 5 wins, and those winners drastically canceled out those losses, right? So if y'all wasn't in yesterday's live stream, make sure to watch yesterday's live stream. I think we broke that down yesterday. So we either broke it down yesterday's session live, or we broke it down with the members of the A3 live, right? But again, you got to take it on a week by week basis, right? You know how many times we start off the week a little bit rough, but then we make our bread back towards the end of the week just by saying cool, calm, and collected. You see, like this week right here, we didn't take a trade at all Thursday, not because I decided to sleep all Thursday, but because I did not like what the markets were looking like. So instead of taking a trade just to take a trade and taking a loss, we ended up having a 7-0 trading week because we only took A+ setups, and the trades that were A+ setups, surprise, they played out. And when we didn't see A+ setup, we didn't trade, and guess what? Surprise, surprise, we avoided losses, right? So again, and then especially like back in August, like when we go to August, I should have probably went on a month-by-month basis, right? But like if we go to August, we'll see like even in August, I think it was August. This was September, right? So September, you see, we took 16 wins, 3 losses, right? If we go to October and November, we took 30 trades, 27 wins, 3 losses. October, we took 34 trades, 30 wins, 4 losses. But again, when the market conditions are shittier, instead of going on TikTok and crying like the majority of people talking about price action is bad, I just don't fucking take a setup. Now, why? Because again, trading is about going for high probability, high quality setups. It's not about going and catching trades every single day and shit like that, right? It's about going for strictly high probability, high quality setups. So if you want to see high probability, high quality setups, guess what? I'm just going to take it. You see what I mean? So I'm trying to see if this was one of those months where, like, because there was a month this year where we was taking like 3 trades a week, and people were saying, "What's going on? Wait, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Did you watch the New York price watchers? Were you in the London session live? Did you watch the Sunday chart analysis?" Like this week, right? I didn't decide to sleep in on Tuesday, or I was just so proud of the Monday trade that I didn't trade at all Tuesday, because we go to Tuesday's live stream, unless it was a holiday on that Tuesday, we still was live that Tuesday. But again, it was the market condition, same thing. We only took 4 trades instead of 5 trades that week. But guess what? The 4 trades were A+ setups. So guess what? We still won. So instead of being 4-1 this week because I just had to take a trade, I said I don't like the market conditions, so I'm going to wait until I like the market conditions. You see what I mean? But at the end of the month, end of the week, quarter, we're still doing average 80% win rates, because again, the trades we do take, we make them count, quality over quantity. You see what I mean? I'm trying to find. It was a month. It was a month where we like were trading like 3 times a week or some shit. I can't remember. Here's another week. So maybe it was doing the same, right? So you see this week we took 0 trades. So again, it was either because look, we took 3 trades, right? So this is one of the weeks I was telling you about, right? So Monday we took a trade, Tuesday we took a trade, Wednesday we took a trade. And one of these trades ended up being a stay/swing trade. That's why it still says 3-0, even though Thursday, Friday. So if I'm not mistaken, that US30 trade, yeah. So you see right here, right? This is the same US30 trade, but you see that says TP4 hit, and the next day the final TP got hit, right? You look at the market structure here. You can see that retracement. You can see this midpoint getting rejected, and then we go to here. You can see that retracement, that midpoint getting rejected, but then you see price consolidated. But when the volume picked up, again, it exploded to the upside, right? So again, I am completely okay with not trading for a day if I don't see what I like. Y'all should be the same way, right? Again, you don't have to catch every point, every candlestick. You don't gotta catch every move to the upside or downside. You gotta stick to your game plan, right? The goal is to be up at the end of the week, end of the month, end of the quarter. The goal is not to trade every single day or have 100% win rate. But yeah, everything else is just disgusting looking right now. Gold hit TP1 again, but again, you can see it's just low volume right now, so we might just have to wait till we'll see what 4 o'clock does, because volume does come in at 4 o'clock as well, so we'll see what 4 o'clock does. But again, if you don't see any action between 4 and 6 a.m., I highly recommend just waiting for 8 a.m., 9:30 in the US Open. You did have GBP news that kind of fucked us up as well. GBP news caused price to tank, right? So we see 2 a.m., right? Protect this level, it's just consolidating sense. And the GBP, same thing, price. Right. And then US30 chilling as well, right? We got that move after the news. They hit our final TP. They rejected. It's just been consolidating since then. So again, we're just simply waiting for volume. That's all it is to it. Because again, if there's no volume, this is what causes the liquidity, right? So again, I keep on telling you, liquidity isn't a bunch of orders pending. Liquidity is low volume and price struggling to break resistance.
We have got to the point where literally
right? That's why people
a fully working
think,
app without knowing
we're
how
not
to
going to
code.
get into that today.
This
We're not
is
going to get
base
into that
44.
today. Let's go
This is
ahead
the
and
first
get
look
this ad though, because I don't know what the fuck that dude's talking about. But yeah. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, y'all. All right, y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. Drop in the chat. And hopefully what I said makes sense. Hopefully my audio, I think I fixed my mic, so hopefully I still sound crisp here. But yeah, that's just basically what's going on right now. So it is what it is. It is what it is. You have to get to that point, right? Once you get out your system of being money hungry and just thirsty to take trades every day, you just realize, it's just a system what the game plan is. Things become a lot smoother. I was just talking to a student yesterday. I was telling her, like, if you just take money out the picture, just focus on your game plan, the money will come. Even to this day, when I don't focus on the money, I just focus on my game plan, I make way more money than when I take the trades and focus on the money. I know it sounds crazy, but it's called a pivot for you. We're gonna see what this next hour looks like. We got a new hour about to pop up, a new 15, new 5 minute about to pop up in about 50 seconds. That's what happens though. That's what happens. So again, that's why you want to trade when there's volume, right? So that's what I'm talking about. Like when there's volume, like you see here, there was volume, there was no underneath this level, right? Obviously, there's going to be drawdown when you enter the trade, depending on where you enter that. But as far as being underneath this level, going to the red, there wasn't, right? Even with US30 did a retest, and then immediately was back super deep in profit, right? Even with this US30 setup, it did a retest, but was back in profit, right? With the GU setup, it did a retest, but it never went below this level and just kept on shooting in profit. Same thing here, did a retest, but it kept shooting back in profit. That's why you want to trade when there's volume and you need to wait for breaking retest. That way you can avoid as much drawdown as possible, right? Same thing with this, right? We got wicked out, barely missed the stop loss, broke back above, held a support, and again, what happened after the support? Shot to the upside, right? And you can see the volume. So that's just part of the game, right? So when there's low volume, that's why you always get wicked out over and over again, just like right here, right? So again, we re-entered this trade a bunch of times that day because I knew buys was valid. No, because I understood the market conditions, so I left that shit alone. Even during the live stream, I might have took one on one of my accounts, but I didn't call a signal on this just because, again, it's just That's all trading is about, right? A lot of people think, oh, it can't do this, I'm gonna do this, right? But no, I think, okay, but what's the odds of it doing it? What's the probability of doing it? When you sit back and really weigh all your options of pros and cons, then you'll be able to make a lot more cool, collective decisions, but also you'll be prepared for every scenario, right? Because again, every trade I take, I know what needs to happen for it to go down, and I know what needs to happen for it to go up, whether I'm going for buys or sells. You see what I mean? So no matter what price does, I understand, and I try to surprise. That's why I'm able to explain it. But most importantly, I'm willing to accept those consequences. A lot of people aren't willing to accept the negative consequences. I'm willing to accept the positive consequences. If I put this lot of contract size, I can make X amount of dollars. Guess what? If it goes in drawdown, you can lose X amount of dollars too, right? Oh, I see price making this juicy move. I'm gonna go follow it. Okay, but what's you gotta take a step back and think, right? So again, that's why I said at the beginning of the live stream, I said bias here was valid. So I'm gonna look to see if we can go for round two. So I said round two, but I'm in a round three because I got whipped out, I re-entered. So now I'm still doing my stop loss and profit, but I might hold it a little bit longer because how price is moving and showing a little bit more volume, right? So these are things that you have to learn as you go. You know what I mean? So again, we've been doing this shit for a minute. Like that's why I tell people, like, I didn't just pop out the womb and just know all this shit. I've been doing this shit since 2022, trading this way, and it's been a lot of adjusting. Right, even till this day, I review every trade, every winner. I don't just close the computer, but like, yes, I won. I review why I went right. I review what price did after I closed out the trade. Same thing with my losses. I don't just say, "Oh, damn, the markets hate me. I'm just gonna close my computer." No, I review why it was a loss, did I break my rules or not? And I see what price did after. That's why after we took this loss, I was like, hey, it is what it is. Buys is still valid. And look what's happening. Prices at our TP3 right now, or at our TP2 is doing what we're looking for. Again, did price tank to the downside and do some crazy shit? No. It hit our stop loss and then immediately chilled right back at our level, just like with GU. When we took that loss on GU, um, what happened? Did it tank to the downside? No, it consolidated for hours, but because of lack of volume, it failed to that level, then it rejected to the level below, right? Same thing with this one here and this one here, right? So again, this is why it's important to go because if you're doing everything right, it's very simple to figure out what went wrong or what didn't go wrong. But if you're doing different shit every day or you're reacting to price every day, of course, you're not gonna be able to figure out what's taking place or what's happening. That's why people be like, "Oh, it's the mythical bears and bulls," or "Oh, there's people sitting at a round table and they're stop loss hunting me because I'm so special," right? But instead, I was like, "Okay, it's a me problem. So what am I doing wrong?" Right? Because there's people making money the same day you're losing money. There's people losing money the same day you're making money, right? So obviously, we're all trading the same markets, even if there is manipulation, which there is, but that doesn't mean be scared of it because again, manipulation has to happen because these are real assets, these are real currencies, these aren't just random numbers. Let me get you off the screen, my bad, my boy. These aren't just I'm saying random prices and shit. These are real things. So that's why when people every time stock or crypto retraces, they call it a crash. I'm like, y'all haven't seen a crash. Y'all think every retracement is a crash just because it's not going up anymore? Y'all ain't ready for a real crash in the markets. If a real crash happens in the markets, y'all motherfuckers gonna be tripping. You know what I mean? That's just the market conditions. But again, this is why it's important to review every trade, but also stay cool, calm, and collected. So if you are trading while you're learning, don't be putting money that you need into the markets because that's what's gonna fuck you up even more. But also practice on a demo and keep money out the picture, right? Because if you keep money in the picture, then you're focused on what? The charts and learning this shit. But if you have money in the picture, you're not going to want to learn the charts. You just want to learn when can I enter? When can I enter? When can I enter? You know what I mean? And that's not going to help you out, especially in the long run. That's why this year a lot of traders got fucked up because once the markets changed, it showed who really knew how to read the charts and who didn't know how to read the charts. That's why people on the internet been talking about price action has been bad since this time last year. I never heard somebody until this year say price action has been bad for a whole 12 months straight. That's craziness. This is my first year I heard people say summer quarter is terrible. That's craziness. Right. But these are all the same people that kept on shorting all-time highs and wondering why price kept going up. Because again, we skipped learning the rules of the road and we just want to get into the car and start driving. But again, if you don't know the rules of the road, you don't know your license, you don't got your license, it don't matter what type of car you got, you're still going to crash. You're still going to cause accidents. You know what I mean? And, that's why I always shout out people in the live because people don't want to hear this shit. You know what I mean? People want to learn, or they say they want to learn, but they don't actually want to learn, right? They want to watch people rev cars or go to the bank and cash out shit. And those are the same people they be complaining about. Oh, these are just course sellers. You guys are the method. They don't teach shit. And when people actually teaching shit or showing the realistic side of trading, people don't want to watch that shit. That's why I always shout out those that be in my lives and watch my videos. Because I know if you're in my live stream or you watch my videos, I know that you actually going to learn some shit. You know what I mean? And that's why I do the shit I do. I know, like, people are in my life and they actually want to learn some shit. Because again, you see the numbers. As soon as I said, hey, we might not be trading at all, people dipped. I thought motherfuckers want to learn. How you going to learn if you ain't here to learn? You know what I'm saying? As soon as I call a signal out, then everybody hops in the live. It's crazy. Or if we have TPs to be hit crazy like yesterday, then people want to watch the live after the fact. You know what I mean? But again, you ain't going to be able to learn if you don't show up to class. That's why I tell people, like, yes, this is a way out. This can change your life, but don't treat it like a get rich quick scheme or method. Like, this is like any other skill. Any skill that's worth it, you have to put the time in to learn. Trading or anything else, making money online, internet money is no different from making money in real life and in person. You still got to learn the shit. You still got to practice. You're still going to make mistakes. Only difference with trading is those mistakes will cost you. That's literally the only difference with trading. So again, if you want to go for buys here, no. It simply just worked this out, and now price is doing exactly what we was looking for. You see what I mean? What's going on, Tara? I'm an 18-year-old hustling designer, just hustling these days. That's what's up. That's the way to do it. And you're young too. Like I said, that's why I said, like, a lot of y'all are so fortunate, and y'all are not even taking advantage of this shit. Because when I was 18, I was just talking to one of my students yesterday about this shit. When I was 18, trading was so gate kept. No bullshit. That's why always people be talking about bears and bulls, because the only thing they know besides the last 2 years is fucking movies. So they think everybody's trading like hedge funds. But no, there's no bears and bulls unless you're working for the government things or hedge funds, right? But when I was 18, which was back in the day, I was 18 literally in 2018. Yeah, I was 18 in 2018. So when I was 18, trading was so gate kept. These motherfuckers wouldn't even tell you what TradingView was. No bullshit. I remember people would be showing TradingView on YouTube videos, and it'd be hundreds of people in the comments asking, what website is this? What platform is this? People wouldn't tell you what broker they were using. People wouldn't even tell you what TradingView was. It wasn't until COVID 2020, when all that pyramid scheme shit happened, that opened a space for the average person. Like, not all you telling people, like, y'all youngins now, y'all gotta take advantage of this shit. Y'all spoiled. Y'all gotta take advantage of this shit because I sound like an old head, man. I ain't even that old, but back in the day, this shit was not easy. You know what I mean? But that's why I locked in and so passionate about it, because I grew up, or I came at a time where they were not trying to teach you this shit. I mean, people are still not trying to teach you this shit. They act like they are, but they're still not trying to teach you this shit. But back when I was 18, 19, I could not even find the shit y'all could find on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok. You know what I mean? So I got to take advantage of that shit and lock the fuck in. You know what I'm saying? I got to lock the fuck in. So yeah, goals pushing now. Nice move right here. So again, we're gonna be looking for buys going to 43.26, and if we can hold 43.26 in support, we can look for continued buys going to 43.42. And then if you're on the GC side, let's go ahead and pull up GC for the futures traders. If you're on the GC side, gold, keep breaking below the maintain. So we're looking for it needs to hold 43.48, 43.50 as support. If we hold that as support, you can look for buys going to 43.72. All right, so my charts are at least delayed, so it's probably going to show you breaking and holding that level soon. But yeah, that's the game plan for gold. You know what I mean? And again, was we wrong to go for the setup? No, it was right back at TB2, about to hit TB3. You know what I mean? So let me let the members know really quick. The gold is back up and hit TB2. So we're 1-1 today, which is not bad. We went 2-0 yesterday, 1-0 on Monday, then 1-1 today. So we are 4-1 this week, which is not bad. Gold still got a little bit of work to do, but if it can break through this level, this could be a big boy move that happens today. Again, we do got news tomorrow, but depending on how the price plays out today, it could be a big boy move happening on gold. Not gonna lie. And GJ, like I said, GJ is in reversal territory, so we're just waiting to see what side the coin price lands on right here. Well, let's see what else we got going on here. If I make a 10x better thumbnail for you, would you mind looking at it? I mean, yeah, you can send me some shit. You know, you can send me some shit. You can send me some shit. We'll see what you're talking about. But just to give you a heads up, I get motherfuckers DM me every single day for everything. All right. So let me see what you cook up, especially because you know how AI doing this shit. AI fucking ruining that shit. So let me see what you do though, because I'll see what you got. But if it's a thumbnail, make it a thumbnail for my live streams, because as far as my YouTube videos, obviously I can work on a few of them, but I'll see what I do. I've been changing up the thumbnails a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm just chilling. Like I said, I do this because I try to, one, because I want to show people how simple this shit is, but two, I can't, you know how it is. You can't talk to people about this shit in real life. People do not give a fuck about this shit unless you're flaunting your money. Folks do not give a fuck what you're talking about. Now people kind of give a fuck, but a couple of years ago, motherfuckers did not care what I was talking about. Now people see me posting shit on my story. Oh, you used to do that day trading stuff? Ooh. Like, yeah, but then again, same thing. These people don't want to learn. You know what I mean? So we got to see how price plays out here. We almost hit the next TP. Let's see how this shit plays out. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, y'all. If y'all got any questions, drop in the chat. We're looking at charts, drop in the chat. We're going to be on for a little bit longer. All right, that's about it. Yeah, just DM me on Instagram. By the way, y'all, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I see you scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram, Playmaker_Way, TikTok _Playmaker_Way_. Post daily on both pages. But yeah, we're about to wrap this up after this next 15 pops up, y'all. We're going to be live later on TikTok. Again, do not just be watching my YouTube lives and my TikTok lives. Make sure to watch the videos and content. I promise y'all, I'm not making these videos for kicks and giggles because I'm bored. Every video I post is going to help y'all out. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody who's been live since the beginning. Shout out to everybody who's been live since y'all joined. Make sure to hit that first link in the description. Join the free Signal, free Telegram. Y'all see on your screens how we did last month and last quarter. Go ahead and hit that first link and check it out for yourselves. Is that last month? Hold on. I think I have to up because time's been flying. I got to double check. Y'all know I'm terrible with time. Like I still adjusting to it about to be fucking January in 2026, which is kind of weird. Let me see. Is that last month on the screen, or did I forget to update it? Let's find out. No, that's correct. Okay. So that was awesome. All right, cool. Again, make sure to take advantage of the end of the year sale. All right, you use discount code holidays, 33% off everything. That's the advanced student yearly, monthly, and lifetime. That's also one-on-one sessions. And if you use discount code Playbook, you can get 40% off Playmaker University. Watch the last 3.5 minutes in my YouTube videos, go over the details, but also you click that link before you purchase. It says what everything comes with. And of course, you got any other questions, you can just DM me. But again, I make it very clear what everything comes with. But you got any other questions, you can always message me. But yeah, we're gonna be live later on TikTok, y'all, around the same time, 2:00, 2:30. But make sure you have your notice on the free Telegram. Like always, I'm always gonna notify y'all when we go live on YouTube and TikTok. Even though you'll know what time we go live, I still let you know when we're live. But yeah, man, we out. Enjoy the rest of y'all's day, and let's see what New York Side got. Again, you're not in this goal setup. I just personally wait till 8 a.m., 9:30.